Alright, so what's up everybody? It's me again. And for this video, we're going to have somewhat of a serious conversation. So, you guys probably don't know, but recently a family member of mine has passed away. So, I'm back up in the city of my birth. And I thought the best thing that I could do is make a video about this and have it be shot out where I originally was from. This is the original house that I grew up in. It's kind of beaten up and broken now, as you can probably see, which is somewhat of a good metaphor for the topic we're going to discuss today. And today we're going to talk about death and dealing with loved ones dying and grieving and all of that stuff. Now, I thought it would be really appropriate to talk today, seeing as it's still very fresh in my mind and it just happened. And, you know, I thought I'd let you guys in on it, especially for you people out there who are about to go through something like this, because I promise you, at some point you will. This is going to be an issue that everyone faces. So, without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so the reason I think that I'm personally someone who has the right to talk about this is because I've personally experienced death a lot in my life. When I was 11, my mother passed away. And when I was 13, my grandmother passed away. Now, those were the two people that raised me. Actually, we all lived in this house. This is where we all came from. And it seems like I'm the only one survivor. I'm the only survivor of this heritage. So I understand a good bit about grieving and how to get over it and the steps that you have to take and all of that stuff. So I thought I'd do like a quick video. Let's talk about it for a little bit. So one of the biggest things that happens when you start to go through this grieving process of losing someone that you care about is like one of the main things you do is blame yourself. Everyone's always like, I wish I could have did something. I wish that I was there. I wish I could have said something. You know, I wish I'd had a chance to talk to that person. But you really have to understand that you can't change things. And things happen the way they happen. So it's really important to not blame yourself. You know, this is a natural thing that we all do. Everyone, whenever they lose a loved one, they're always like, man, I wish I could have did something. I wish I could have talked to them. I wish that I could have, did something. All right, and also, something that's really important to understand is that grieving is a process, and not everybody grieves the same. In fact, we all grieve differently. So some people cry a lot. Some people go numb. Some people yell and scream. You know, we all have our own different processes of grieving. So you can't really expect anyone to grieve the same way or to get over it at a certain speed or anything like that, because we're all built differently. And seeing as we're all built differently, we're all going to handle it differently. So that's one of the big things to understand as well, along with not blaming yourself, is that realizing that everyone is individual and everyone grieves differently. Number 3, something that I really want to talk about, is not holding back your emotions. Now, this is a really, really big one, especially when it comes to guys. You know, guys want to be all tough and strong, and they never want to show any emotions or feelings. But when you've had a loss of such a degree, like such as this one that me and my family has had, you know, you're going to have a lot of emotions, and you're just going to have to let them flow. The whole point of having emotions and emotional buildup like that is to regain balance in your own life. So you have all these built up emotions that you want to do something with and you're holding it back. The more you hold it back, the longer it's going to take to actually get through the grieving process. So a really good example I like to use of this is that the reason that wind blows is because there's a lot of air molecules in one area and there's not a lot of air molecules in another area. So the air molecules that are high go to the ones that are low, and it balances it out. And that's kind of what your emotions are like as well. You know, you have all this pent-up anger, and it needs to go from one place to another. And cutting that off is just going to make things even worse for you. So you really have to understand that it's completely acceptable and it's completely natural to just let your emotions flow, especially a circumstance like this where a pillar of our family, I mean, I don't want to get too deep into it. It was a really tragic event. But like one of the pillars of our family recently passed away, which is why I'm up here to begin with. And number 4, finally, the main thing I want to really talk about is understanding what it truly means to be immortal. Now, this whole idea of like living forever and I'm going to live forever and I'm going to be 150 years, that's a very, very new idea. That's never what immortality has always been about. Throughout history, the whole idea of immortality is that people, after you're gone, a part of you remains in the people that you've been around. So even though your body is gone, even though whatever energies that held you together are gone, you still live through the lives and the actions of other people. That's what immortality actually is. So if you really want to live for the person that you lost or whatever, the best thing that you should do is try to embody those qualities that they would be about. So the member of my family that recently passed away was my uncle. He was always very tempered, and he'd never lose his temper. He'd never get too angry. He'd always have like a calm, demeanor about him. And I think to myself, whenever I get angry now, is this how he would have did it? Is this how he would have wanted things to be done? No, he'd be calm right now. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what true immortality is. So with all of that, I just wanted to make a quick video. This is Joseph Von Dorch reminding you to never let death stop you. Goodbye.